Hi everyone, and welcome to Mark Learns French. This is a channel in which I am going to reveal my experiences in regards to learning French and the trials and tribulations. And hopefully I will keep it going long enough for you to actually see me speak fluent French. I decided to do this channel specifically because I needed some accountability. And I do have a few French speaking friends that I can use as accountability, and I will. However, I also thought that it would be a very marvelous thing to share my experiences in doing this on the YouTube/internet level. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to give a little bit of background and a little history as to why French has become so important to me at age 62. And that simply is I decided earlier this year that I had to go to France. And I did. I went to Paris. And in my experiences of being in Paris, I felt as if I had been there before. Everything seemed so logical and simple. Now, obviously, there were a few things that were a bit of an adjustment, but they were so minor in comparison to what one would have expected going to a country outside of their home country. And I didn't have any of that. It seemed so self-evident to me. It seemed so incredibly self-evident, and I really didn't get it. I didn't really get in touch with that for a while. And it was actually over the summer that I was speaking to a friend who is a psychic, and he said, well, Mark, it's obvious. You have been there before. You have lived there before. And I went, oh, well, of course, that's obvious. I mean, I couldn't believe I didn't think of that. And the same thing goes true for the French language, which many people, in fact, probably most people, find rather challenging. And on some level, while I am having a challenge, particularly with pronunciation, I really see it as quite logical, and people always are saying how illogical the language actually is. So I may be proven wrong. However, at this particular point, this is where I am at. So that's a little bit of a background on it. I will say one other thing that came across the other day is that I actually discovered the other day I had bought a course on learning French 7 years ago. So this is something that's deeper inside of me, and I'm taking it one day at a time. And it's interesting, I just do not get flummoxed. I use the word merde a lot. However, I don't get overwhelmed with it. And in fact, yesterday I was on Alliance Française and found out that you can actually take the DELF test in the United States, and they have an Alliance Française office in Pasadena, and as well as in many places in the United States. Some places that I was kind of surprised, like Milwaukee, there's an Alliance Française. So that's a little bit of the history, and today I am going to talk really briefly about where I'm currently at with it and my observations of today's experience in teaching in learning French. I came across a book called Fluent Forever by a guy named Gabe Wyler, I believe his name is. Wyner, Wyner. And he makes the most logical sense to me in terms of a series of steps, logical steps to learning any language. And he states that by following his system, you can learn to be fluent in a language that's close to English, such as the Romance languages, in about 5 months, with approximately a half hour to an hour of study during the week and some more in-depth immersion over the weekend. So that got me started, and I'm still working on his method. However, I also became frustrated with my pronunciation. So I went back to the basics, and I went on several websites to find, or several YouTube channels to find people doing the alphabet. So I have been practicing the alphabet. I've also been practicing the vowels, and I've also been using Anki cards. And I will get into Anki cards in a further down the road. However, today, the thing that I want to say, and then I'm going to wrap up for today, is that I realized when I was doing the alphabet today that the French letters are very crisp and precise. And as a good old American guy, I tend to drag my letters out, which I believe is proper English, because I think I do speak relatively proper English, and they don't. So it's not it's a. It's not be, it's be. It's not say, it's say. And that, what I have been doing is I have been repeating the words from one of the YouTube channels that I'm using. So that's it for today. This is Mark Learns French. This is the first episode of this channel. I hope you find it interesting over time. I hope that you enjoy, and maybe we can collaborate in terms of learning French. So if you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this episode, I really don't care. And if you would like to make a comment, please do so in the comment section below, and I will do my best to create some content in the description. Thank you so much. Merci. A bientôt.